Alright, so here's these guys after they came out of the evapo-rust. In general, they look pretty good. I mean, you can see a lot of the pitting and stuff, but most of the rest is dead. I couldn't really submerge this one that well, so it kind of is what it is. But all the rest is pretty much gone in the parts that I could cover. These guys that I was able to submerge, they're pretty clean. And you can see the metal's pretty jacked up, but all the rest is pretty much gone. So the evapo-rust worked really well. I left that in the evapo-rust for about 24 hours, I think, ultimately. So that's that. So we're going to put some Rust-Oleum on it now and seal them up. So here's a pretty good before shot of the other seat bottom. Didn't take a very good pictures of the other one, I don't think, but get an idea of what kind of shape these were in before they went in the evapo-rust. You can see the springs are pretty crunchy. So I'm going to throw the springs in the evapo-rust for now. This part, the outer frame, needs to be wire wheeled because, like I said, I can't fit it in my little bucket to hold my evapo-rust. I need a bigger bucket. But we'll get started with this. Here you can see what an amazing job the evapo-rust does. That edge right there. So I couldn't get this whole thing down inside the container there, so you see this part's totally clean here. The rest is not. If you look at one of these springs, I couldn't fit that quite down in there, so there's a little bit of rust there, and this is just nice clean metal. So evapo-rust is awesome. Alright, let's get this thing wrapped up. So we have to sew the top stitch around the edge here. So we're going to get started on that. But I wanted to show you a cool thing about this sewing table here that I got. This is from Sailrite to go with that unit there. And you can take the machine, you just take the top off the case and the whole thing drops down inside here. But this panel lowers, so you've got a nice smooth surface when you need one. And you can just press a little button there and that whole thing just slides down. Now you have a place to put the sewing machine so that it sits level with this surface. So that's pretty slick. So there you can see the whole unit just falls down in there. I need to lower it a little bit. It's a little too high right here, but it doesn't really matter. It'll be fine for what I need to do. So first order of business here, I want to check my bobbin, make sure I still have enough thread on here. And it is looking pretty low. Yes, indeed. So make sure you check your bobbin before you start sewing. So I got to reload the bobbin first. So you just put some thread through the bobbin here and get it started. Once you've got enough going here, you can just snip that off right there. All right, so once you got enough thread on there to hold the string loose here, or hold the string tight, you just cut that off and then let her rip. This machine has an auto stop on it here to have it stop when this thing's full, but I don't have it set up yet, so that's fine. Just basically when it looks full enough, done. And put this guy back, pull him off of there. And there you go. All right, so far on the project, we've been using this, I don't know if that's going to show up on camera, now it's kind of dark, it's B92 thread, and we're going to be switching to, what is this, I forgot, 138 for the top stitch, which is a thicker thread. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but it's a thicker thread for the top stitch, so we'll switch over to that now. You can have different thread in the bobbin than you have on the top, that's fine from what I understand. So we'll go ahead and get this set up. Alright, so before we dive in and try and actually do the seat, I stitched together this little piece here. This is the same setup as over there with a piece of 1/2 inch foam and a piece of 1/4 inch foam. I'm going to test doing the top stitch on this first before I destroy the seat cover that I got done. I've played with a few top stitches, but I haven't really done a lot of it, so I'm not super confident in what I'm doing. So the top stitch, turn this down a little bit. Okay, so the top stitch is going to go on this side right here, which means I need to feed it into the machine this way, so that I can line up the needle and the edge of this thing. So the right edge of the foot I'm going to put in the seam there. And the trick I'm not so sure about is how to fold this stuff around while I'm trying to work on it. So that's the part I'm not super confident in. So I'm going to try and fold everything flat this way and sew through the whole stack there. If I can do that, that's going to be the easiest. Instead of like when I was practicing the top stitch before, I was trying to flip these open and stuff. So we're going to give this a try. See if we can do it. So let's see here. So we want that lined up right on the edge there. You probably can't see that, but I can. That. Okay. Drop the needle. Drop the presser foot and get some light in here. And let's give it a go, I guess. See what happens. All right, you ready to do this? Let's go. Okay, let's see how we did. So my big concern in doing this was that was going to be too puffy right there, but I think when it's on the car, it's going to sit around the corner. Can you see that? Maybe. It's going to sit around the corner like this, flat. So the seam will be down on the bottom there. I think that's going to be okay. Stitch looks good. I held the line pretty straight, which is the important part. All right, here goes nothing. This is going to be really difficult because I have to feed this thing under here, and then this corner right here is going to be a real challenge to try and get this thing to lay flat as I'm going, so I'm not super confident here that I'm going to be able to do this. But hey, this is what it's all about, right? Let's see. So drop the presser foot there, needle down in there. This one I need to do. I don't think I want to do a back stitch here because I might be able to see that part of the seat. Think about that. Yeah. We're just going to go for it. So I got to go real slow here. Don't like that sound it's making. And I got to turn the corner right here. Let's see here how much material there is I have to get through. Try and get that flat. Boy, not fun. Really cramped in here. This will get better once I get around this corner, but gotta get around the corner first. Of course, I'm trying to keep my fingers from getting caught in the machine. That wouldn't be fun. Broken nail. Went a little cockeyed right there. This requires a lot of strength. Oh, I think I sewed through my thing there. Maybe. Hopefully that's just caught in the foot. I don't know how I'm going to get around this corner here to turn this thing around. That's going to be fun. May have bit off more than I can chew here. Alright, I'm gonna cut you off here. Camera's gonna cut off in a second anyway. Alright, coming to the end here. I don't think I've made any catastrophic mistakes, but I know there's some boo-boos in it, but let's see if we can finish strong here. That was hard work. There's a couple of places where the sewing machine kind of got stuck, and so the thread pitch got a little tight in some places. But let's see, show you what we got. So that all came out pretty good. The corners are a bit of a mess. I think I need to cut more of the backing material off on the corners. I think I forgot to do that. So here's a spot. You can see where the thread pitch got a little tight in that little corner there. So this side came out. Same thing right there. The rest of it came out pretty nice though. And it kind of puckered up in a few places, so I'm a little afraid to try sewing it the other way. It'd be a lot easier if this thing was on the outside, but the left side of the foot is more like 3/8 of an inch, so I'd have to stay inside of that a little bit because I don't want that gap to be too much right there. But anyway, let me finish this up and let's put it on the cushion and see what it looks like. All right, here you can see all the hardware. So we painted this in some Rust-Oleum, clean it all up. Gotta put all the springs back in. If I can do this here. So which part's gonna be harder to do? Oh, that's backwards. Yeah, that's backwards. Goes in the back. No, that's not right. Let me figure this out. Okay, pretty sure that goes like that. Remember that being such a big gap here at the back, but that must be correct. Seems to be anyway. Alright. So probably put that on after the fact. Now, this thing's pretty disgusting, but foam seems okay, so I don't see a reason to replace it. You're not going to see the foam itself, so I don't think that's an issue. Okay. That goes like that. That thing is supposed to come around the back there, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. Something like that. Let me see if I can get a couple hog rings in it to hold it in place. Gotta find my hog rings, hang on. Pliers work like so. Like I said, this is going to be a little tricky here. So I need to get, I don't remember what this was clipped to before. Probably the back of this part right here. That would require quite a stretch to get that around there. Maybe this is too low. Oh, this thing compresses a little bit too. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Actual holes there. All right, let me ponder this for a minute before I make any decisions. All right, I'm clearly going to need some practice with the hog rings, but I managed to get two in the back here. Hold these two corners together, and you can see that one failed. I think when I messed up the length of this thing may be 1/2 inch too short, which is why I'm having such a dickens of a time getting this to come around the back here, because there's nothing really for me to bite into here. So I'm kind of out of luck there, but we'll just let that go for right now and see how the rest of it goes, because it kind of pushed a lot of the stuff out of position in order to get that to go where it was supposed to go. So I'm a little worried about that, but maybe we'll be okay. All right, so we have that one. So the next thing that goes on here is these side pieces. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I can get these on here. And those want to kind of pull pretty tight. This is, sorry, this camera angle's crap here. This is where the piping was in the other one that was used as an anchor. So I think here we'll just kind of fold this over like that and put a couple of clips here somewhere. I can get one there maybe and one over here. And just even loading up the hog rings is a pain in the rear. I'm not sure the best way to do this, but that one went okay. All right, so try and get this sort of where I think it wants to go. It's probably about there. And I really don't have strong enough hands to do this. Two good strong hands to do this, which I don't have. So I think that one went okay. Do the same thing over here. Load up a hog ring. So can you see this? Not very well. Go this way maybe. So I put this one right on that piece of the frame right there. So I'll try to do the same thing here. It really wants to fold over a lot. Maybe something like that. These grips on these things slide around, which sucks. So. And then this final flap here covers the whole thing up when it's done, but we're not done. So now let's put these, bring this back down again, sorry. These side pieces here need to get pulled over into the springs here. So I want to get that nice and tight. Remember, this is the first one of these I have ever done, so don't give me too much grief about this. I don't know what I'm doing. So fold that over. I don't know how tight I should be making this either. Probably as tight as I can, but like I said, I am not really strong enough to get all this stuff pulled exactly where I want it. Okay. Something like that. It's looking pretty reasonable. Okay, so I'm just going to work my way around here and I'll bring you back. Yeah, the next seat I'm definitely going to have to make this longer. Make sure I don't make that mistake again. So this is pretty tricky. I don't know how well those are going to hold. Some of them barely holding on, but that's that. All I got left to do is put the final flap on the back here. And it's done. So this guy is going to clip into the springs. Just going to fold it over and go for it. Not really getting any better with these hog rings yet. Trying. Don't like these pliers, I know that much. place. Just making sure I have enough material to reach the spring that I need to get to. The back of the seat's not super critical on these because they're hidden in the back of the car, so it's not the end of the world if this back looks a little funky. We will survive. One more, and I think we're done. And I'll show you the final result. The bottom is a little ugly here, but that doesn't matter as long as the top looks good. Right? I'm telling myself that. Okay. So there's the, where are you? Back edge there. Sorry, the viewfinder's upside down. I hate that about this camera. Right, let's take a look. See, that's a little uneven there, but again, I don't think you'll be able to see that. Front edge probably a little cockeyed too. That's probably a little low. But hey, it's a learning process, right? See, all in all, that looks pretty spiffy though. That's going to wrap it up for this one. Guys, let me know what you think. This is the first one. What you think of the top stitch there? So I'm a little worried about doing that, especially when I get to the front seats, because that's a really long stitch. But we'll try the other back seat bottom when we do it. We'll try flipping the sewing machine around the other way, or the material around the other way, and see if that goes a little easier. If that works, then that'll be fine for the front seats then, I think so. Ta-da! Well, what do you think? I think that looks pretty sweet. I can certainly live with that. Not the best looking seat install I've ever seen, but I like it. I think it'll work for me. Maybe a little steam or something on the top, level it out a little bit. I mean, it looks pretty good. It'll probably be fine once you sit in it, but I think it looks nice. Can't really see it inside the car there, but it's in there. All right, anywho, that's going to do it. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll go into the other side next time. Maybe I won't show that one. And then the big one here will be fun. So this one would have that top stitch running along here, if I bother. You probably won't even be able to see that on that seat, so I may not even bother with that one, but we'll see. If I was brave, I would put a double French seam here, but I'm not brave enough to try that because I will definitely mess that up. All right, anywho, thanks everybody. Catch you in the next one.